What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Welcome to the MG Show, everybody, where it's Friday, yeah, Saturday, Sunday, what? And I got to tell you, Shady Groove, before, we go along, I want to just show you a Truth Social post that just kind of freaked me out. What were we talking about yesterday? Basically, voting exactly the opposite of Bush, and when the Flynn Network says, we like this, hate this guy, we must like that guy. Remember that?
I do remember that.
Are we not going over the bloodlines as well?
We will be doing that, yes, sir.
Is Collins a bloodline?
Yes, a big one.
And generally speaking, you can't go wrong. I'll give you 3 stars in general, and we're always wrong until we're right. Look at this post. This is from Donald J. Trump. Republicans, when in doubt, vote the exact opposite of Senator Susan Collins. Generally speaking, you can't go wrong. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and make America great again.
Welcome to Friday.
Wow. I don't know about you, but that kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Well, that. This whole thing is freaking me out, because how long can we be pushed aside and pushed asunder and told that we're wrong whenever we're not? This audience right here, you guys have been with us for so long now. You were censored right along with us as we all tried to explain to people what it was. Matter of fact, Jeff, whenever we were watching that open, I realized we had the picture of Crazy Hillary in the open. I kind of forgot about that. But
we got Crazy Hillary, all right.
That's sort of that's sort of the point of all of this, isn't it? Everybody wants to make fun and talk about Q in that first Q post, but in all reality, what are we talking about? We're talking about the person that couldn't win. We're talking about the person that knew that they couldn't win and they had to cheat. And every single thing that we've been talking about for the last 10 years has to do with the way that they cheated. And it's not about if they cheated, and the media still wants to pretend like it's if they cheated.
I'd also like to point out, too, that Dan Scavino on True Social. So we have that little message from Donald Trump. And I mean, sometimes, truth is, only for you, or proofs are only for you. But I can't find it on Scavino's post here. Hang on. I might even have the wrong one. But he posted it at 4:05 in the morning, Shady Groove. Let me just get that post. I think Lincoln Logger did it. I reposted him today. But this is interesting because here we go. This is the post. So we're talking about the exchange about voting against, Bush. We were saying vote against Bush. And if, the Flynn Network doesn't like Ratcliffe, that means we like Ratcliffe. You know what I'm saying? Right? We said that. And then we talked about generally speaking. We talked about that guy as well. So this is the Dan Scavino truth at 8/1/2025 at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Multiple people were asking Q to make things more public regarding calling full disclosure. We listened. Find the exchange. No coincidences. Q. They, Dems, thought Trump and those close to him would be in prison by now. That was their end game. After a long 9-year journey, but he's back. And the cover-up is unraveling before our very eyes. Buckle up, because here we go. And sleep tight, y'all. You know who you are. Tick-tock. And then the 4:05 a.m. is right there. We listen, find the exchange. No coincidences. I'm sure it's a coincidence.
No, it said no coincidences.
Yeah. Red State Talk Radio has a click. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we can't control that. And it might be just, it's fixed. It's fixed now.
Boom. That was quick.
Okay. Thank you, Zuki Boy, and thank you for coming over here. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. We need the like buttons from you guys. We need the rumble buttons, as Shady calls them. They're the like buttons. It's a thumb up, and they call that a rumble. But we need that, don't we, Shady?
We do. We need for everybody to literally take a step back and to understand how big what we've been watching for the last 8 or 9 years is. The end game of everything that we have been fighting for is for America to do better than any other nation on earth, okay? That's the situation that Donald Trump keeps pointing to whenever he's talking about the late 1800s and the financial freedom that America experienced before World War I. If you'll remember, Jeff, whenever we went to school, they didn't talk to us about what happened after the Civil War and before World War I. They kind of just skipped, like your history lessons were marked by the wars, and they were never really explaining how the country functioned in between. If you wanted to know those things, you had to go find out for yourself. Well, that's what we've done. That's exactly what it is that we're doing here every Friday on our premium broadcast, the subscription-based broadcast, and now we're doing 5 hours a month. This will be the first hour for the month of August, is we're talking about that control system. And that control system was implemented during that exact time frame, and it's exactly relevant to what it is that we're taking apart now. And each of these little tidbits that we talk about are taking apart a bigger piece of the puzzle one by one, exactly like you would want to take it apart, right? I mean, we signed up for brain surgery, not a nuclear annihilation of the whole game. And that's exactly what these people on both sides are kind of doing with this whole Epstein stuff and the left. They're all trying to just blow up the game, and they want to rule over the ashes.
Yeah. Yeah. And Lincoln Logger, you wanted us to look up the TikTok post right here. There's the blunt and direct time. Adam Schiff is a traitor to our country, leaker, national security evil. TikTok. So national security is evil, Shady. Isn't that what you get out of that?
Mm-hmm.
Like the national security people? Okay. Hope the 7.8 million was worth it. Enjoyed the show. What 19 people are currently meeting in a safe room heavily guarded? Wow, that's part of that Q-proof, isn't it? Why did everyone leave their phones, all electronic devices in room 239? Why does it take just information going public before justice is served? Why does the D Party make every effort to block the release of this FISA classified info? Why did Rod Rosenstein plead to Ryan moments ago to prevent the release of this information? Where is Adam Schiff? 8 fired, X jailed, possible suicides, ++/+ TikTok Q. TikTok Q was the train incident a false flag today? Do you believe in coincidences? Expect more. Mac is naming names, big names in Hollywood, government, local, federal, proof, the Standard Hotel, helicopter crash, all related. Future will prove past, Adam Schiff. Feeling okay today? Why is the Mexico border, Long Beach port so important? TikTok LLC. Now we're talking about borders and we're talking about trains. We're talking about all that right here. And in fact, Shady, we pointed out today that there was an article last week or this week. We pointed out this week or maybe late last week.
Earlier this week, I think, whenever this came out about the trains.
So, and we're going to be going into this in Rumble Premium on hour number 2. Make sure you go to rumble.com/MG show, hit the premium button. It's a big red button. You want to hit that and we get credit for that, guys. Or when the video goes premium, you'll see on rumble.com/MG show, you'll see a little button and you can click that button and join premium. You're not going to want to miss it because this is right here. The Union Pacific and Northern Southern merged to create first transcontinental railroad. We had a free preview of last Friday's show if you want to talk about it, but we were talking about how they had to merge all the railroads because their 99-year leases were expired. This relates directly to that.
You know, and it's even a little bit, it's so important for you to understand that this is the way that they carry on. Everybody, like if in your reality, your parents or your parents' parents had something and they left something and then their children got it and then they left something and then their children got it. That's the normal, that's what your mind thinks about. That's not the way that the system functions. The system functions very differently. The family builds the stuff, and then the one particular aspect of the family owns it. But once they're no longer owning it, it goes back to what you would think of as like a trust. It's like a huge worldwide global trust. And after, like these 99-year leases are up, they have to renegotiate the contract. And then the person that's in charge now gets a hold of it.
Yeah. Rumble Premium. Okay, so we have a question real quick about Rumble Premium. Is it monthly or yearly? Yes, it's monthly, but you can also pay yearly, and you can also use the code STUDIO to get 10% off, guys. Okay. Now, I want to do another pop quiz. Okay. Who really owns the Federal Reserve? Okay. I want you guys, because we did this last week, and we had a couple people get it right. What are the companies that are the parent to the Federal Reserve, guys? There's three companies. Let me see if everybody gets it, and we'll come back to that. Make sure you use that code STUDIO, rumble.com/MG show. Click that Rumble Premium, and that gives us credit. It's a giant red button. Or when we go premium, you can just click go premium. Lincoln Logger.
You got it.
Did you get it?
Yep.
All right. So Lincoln Logger, you got it. It's the Charleston, Cincinnati, Chicago Railroad Company is the parent to the Federal Reserve, a privately owned central bank of the United States. The Paysur Empire became heavily involved in banking. Their Bank of Lancaster became the North Carolina Bank. Then Nations Bank, the biggest bank in Texas, InterFirst, of which George Bush was a director. Remember all that? Remember the savings and loan bullshit, guys? George Bush. That merged in 1987 with Republic Bank to form First Republic. That was later absorbed by Nations Bank, which then merged with the Banco de Americano, Bank of America.
And continues today.
Yeah. Wow.
This is the reason, this is one of the reasons I think that this whole crypto thing is so important that Donald Trump has done. We don't really spend a lot of time talking about crypto here because neither of us are very, like experts in it. But what they're essentially doing is they're taking away the cartel. The banking structure, what you would know as the Babylonian money lending system, okay, is a cartel. It's the same way that the mafia operates. So the idea that there's competition within the market is what's being introduced with this whole crypto thing, because a lot of people don't realize that what is happening is people that are holding a lot of crypto are going to be able to like put that up and loan it to people that want to start businesses under agreements within their just person to person, between the person that has the crypto and the person that wants to borrow the money, without any bank in the middle. So effectively, we're ending their control over every single monetary transaction that can ever occur, which they've effectively had on Earth since they started the monetary system 3, 4, 5,000 years ago.
Yeah. It's crazy, guys. Okay.
Crazy.
And we're all over this, guys. This show is the only show that talked about the bloodlines. Okay. This show is the only one that talked about the railroads. This show, when we did our research with several people here, including Shady and Poussant, we were cued with Q Post 1970. Praying Medic didn't talk about it. Jordan Sather didn't talk about it. Lisa Mae Crowley didn't talk about it. So we talked about it. And we the minute I said the word Paysur, Shady, we paid a heavy price. Did we or did we not?
Well, we paid the price of being ostracized, but we didn't realize that the people that were upset at us would turn out to eventually be the same people that we consider now in the Flynn Alex Jones cult network.
Wow.
So what's interesting is those people had a problem with Paysur, and now they have a problem with us talking about General Flynn. It's the exact same people. The truth of the matter is, they shouldn't give two craps what the hell we talk about over here. We should be able to be graded on our merit, and none of them refute an ounce of the information that we've said. That's the main thing, Jeff. The main thing that we have to focus on. They will not refute the information that we're talking about. All we did was ask questions. You don't have any damn answers.
Shady. General Flynn was in a meme that Dan Scavino posted. Shady.
and we're cooked.
And he's in a meme.
You're cooked. We're cooked. Like, what do these people think? Why do they constantly?
He's also not in the administration. Okay, can we not? You guys were hemming and hawing that he was going to be in the administration, and he's not. STFU.
Why do they threaten? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what is the threat? Like, tell me. Can somebody in the audience update me? They keep telling me that we are cooked. That General Flynn. Like, even in the unbelievably, absolutely impossible situation that we're wrong about this. So what? How are we cooked? Do you understand what they're doing? This is a psychological brainwashing technique, and they're mad at you just like BLM are mad at you if you don't say Black Lives Matter.
Flynn's a hero. All right, so EMP Hands gifted 1 subscription to the MG Show. Ducks, 2, thank you so much. 1 at a time, thank you. Sean Lenan says $5 for the week. You guys are always on point. Thank you. And we've done some more digs on the Q drops in regarding to General Flynn. There was a Q post that linked to Sarah Carter, Shady Grove, and it talks about General Flynn, and guess who set up it was a national security person that said that Flynn is not in favor with Obama, and we had to get him out of there, and 1 year early, probably to go and advise 4 Republican candidates, including Donald J. Trump. He lost his house. He lost all that. Did he really? Did he lie? Guys, the national security source said that Obama doesn't like Flynn. So a national security source said Obama didn't like Flynn. It's in a Q post with a Sarah Carter article, guys. I'm done. So who set up the Russia scandal? National security sources, Shady?
Yes.
Oh, so now I'm supposed to believe that?
No, I wouldn't. I would think that we would do the opposite of believing that. If we were to believe that, that would mean we were believing the narrative put forth by the intelligence agencies, man.
Mm-hmm. So that post is 1935, if you guys want to look at it, okay?
It might be detrimental of getting to the truth to believe such a thing.
Wow. Wow. So 1935, focus here, okay? Okay, it's raising troubling questions about Halper, who was believed to have worked with the CIA and what part of the CIA and part of the matrix of players in the Bureau's crossfire hurricane investigation into Trump's 2016 presidential campaign. Halper, who assisted the FBI in the Russia investigation, appears to have significant ties to Russian government, as well as sources connected directly to Vladimir Putin. Defined projection. Democrats scream when POTUS meets Putin. Democrats demand to hold hearings with interpreter used during the private POTUS-Putin meeting. Dems demand all meetings with Putin to be canceled. If POTUS knows everything, control over what organizations are central to operational success. DOJ. That's why we need to confirm these judges, guys. FBI, NSA, U.S. military, state, foreign assets. Ask yourself, if above are central to operational success, who would you pick to lead such orgs? Hillary Rodham Clinton election loss equals Clinton Foundation inflow stop. Clinton flow inflow stop. No name institute inflow ramp. Compare donors. Define dark money. Direct correlation. He did not depart on his own terms in a kill box. Think Flynn in all caps. 30. Exactly 30. That's a positive post about Flynn, right?
I don't know about that.
So let's take this. Let's show you how we do it. All right, because you guys, I want to teach you guys to dig on your own. Don't trust me. So let's go to archive, archive.rs, archive.is. I want to archive and save snapshots. My URL is alive. Okay, I want to search the archive because it's gone. And let me just show you what I mean. So if you click this right now, it goes to a blank page with Sarah Carter's weird stars. That's weird. All right. Okay, so we got that. So now we're at Web Archive. We're going to search that link because it's no longer active. We're going to go right here. We're going to whistleblower. Okay, wow. Whistleblower exposes key player in FBI Russia probe. It was all a setup. Okay. And this is a guy named Lovinger. Lovinger was a whistleblower, okay? And he's battling to save his career. Adam Lovinger, a former defense analyst, never expected that he stumbled upon during his final months, okay? But I want to just keep going down here real quick, okay? Let's just keep going down. Halper ties to Russians raise question, okay? Let's go down to George Papadopoulos, Halper and Flynn, okay? Here's the narrative, okay? Before Page and Papadopoulos, there was a former head of Defense Intelligence Agency, Army Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. Flynn had been invited to Cambridge in February 2014 for a dinner hosted by both Dearlove and Halper. The investigation into Trump didn't start with Carter Page, but with Flynn, okay? But during that time, Flynn was already walking a fine line with the Obama administration and battling President Obama and the CIA over a deep disagreement with the administration's narrative that al-Qaeda extremist groups had been defeated or were on the run. Several months later, Flynn was forced to resign and end his tenure as the director of the DIA. Quote, Flynn was pushed out by Obama and then became a thorn in the side of Obama and the Clintons when he joined Trump's campaign. Former senior intelligence source with knowledge of what happened. Okay? Okay?
Nice story.
The investigation into Trump didn't start with Carter Page or George Papadopoulos, but with Flynn. Flynn was already on the CIA Clinton target list. Those same people sure as hell didn't want him in the House, and they sure as hell didn't want Trump to win. Okay? Said a former senior intelligence source. Okay?
Credible?
No.
Oh, not credible.
No.
Right.
No. So we're digging in. We're figuring it out. There's also, another bunch of things. Yeah. Wow. I'm telling you.
Well, I think that it's interesting, because that's another person that he's currently yelling at. He's calling him fat and yelling at Halper. So I just find it funny that all the people that were part of maneuvering Flynn into the position that he's in, he's still activating on them. So do they or do they not protect him in the long run? That's going to end up being the question.
So buckle up, buttercups, because we're going to find out more, and we're going to find out the truth, okay? About all of this. In fact, right now, what's the title of this show, Shady Groove? It's called Russia Hoax is now totally undisputed. It's totally undisputed, guys. It's all the facts are out there, okay? And the mainstream news, they're not reporting on it, except for maybe Fox. But they're kind go ahead.
No, I was going to go like I don't know that we can consider Fox's reporting on this, to be honest with you. I feel like that they're sidestepping it. I feel like, do you care that Kamala Harris wrote a book?
Yeah.
Like, do you care about this Zan Mandami nut job up there in New York? Do you care about these things? They're leading every single news hour with these nonsensical stories. And then, you're listening to Donald Trump in a press conference and he's explaining to you how exactly we're going to get our kids in shape. And then they interrupt it before, like, to go back to Will Cain and his moronic perspective, talking to some, and then don't even get me started on Waters and Vivek Ramaswamy yesterday.
Oh
boy, did that irritate me. But I know that is not the direction that we're headed today. But Fox News is not a good resource to get pro-Trump content.
However, I will say that, Donald J. Trump did go ahead and repost a portion of Hannity's show, okay? But, it is what it is. Victor Davis Hanson, new information on the Obama Russian Gate setup surfaces. We know about this. There is evidence of that Barack Hussein Obama cheated American people, guys, okay? Wow. I mean, it's crazy. And we've known this for 8 years. They must pay for the crime of the century, Shady.
Daniel says, get Shady started. You want to get me started? Let me tell you something. I remember exactly what's happened to the last 10 years to the greatest president that's ever been in the administration in the history or in my lifetime, for sure. Vivek goes out there and tries to say, oh, well, that's 10 years ago. And who's really, it's all so convoluted and hard to understand. Oh, no, it's not really hard to understand, you moron, because we followed this along. We recognized what it was that people were doing to our president. We didn't follow it along in the media. If you followed it along in the media, yeah, I understand how you're confused and stupid. No kidding. But we understand what's going on. And if these people don't get uncovered and these rats don't get pushed out there, then there's absolutely no stopping this nonsense. And Vivek Ramaswamy, you sir out there acting like you're running for office for higher office. I don't know, was it governor of Ohio, whatever it is. You're
governor of Ohio.
Yeah, you need to realize what it is that we are currently doing for you. If we don't untangle this spider web, if we don't put this out there for everybody to see, then they will do it again. And I mean, take it all the way apart. We're talking about taking apart the central bank at the core of this. And
Yeah.
people like Vivek Ramaswamy want to protect that.
And, Ramaswamy was actually invited guest speaker. Oops, sorry about that. Guest speaker at Mar-a-Lago with the Flynn crew. So
he was.
who wanted somebody other than J.D. Vance in Ohio?
Flynn.
Oh. After Trump said, I want Vance and endorsed him, Flynn went directly against him with this Mandel guy or whatever it is. So now you got a possible Flynn connection to Ohio, guys. Be careful. Be careful. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I
Be
agree with you.
careful. And here we go. The Russia hoax. I'll give you 3 stars in general why President Trump says that, okay? Is now totally undisputed. The facts are all there in black and white. It is the biggest scandal in American history. The perpetrators of this crime must pay a big price. This can never be allowed to happen in our country again.
Oh, that doesn't really sound like push it under the rug and it's too convoluted to understand. Guys, this is not, okay, let me explain this in simple terms. A crazy lady was a weak candidate, and she used to be the wife of a president, and she thought that she was the one that was going to be the one that put the death nail into America. Well, America stood up and said something different. That's what happened. Weakness happened to us. People who have connections to globalist elite and deep pockets were able to literally run ramshot over our political system for the last century. Yeah. Until Donald Trump decided to set it straight. And all this nonsense about, like Trump and Mossad and Palantir and J.D. Vance and Epstein, you people are literally, you're mental midgets. That's what you all are. I'm going to call every one of you that, because if you can't see the bigger picture, you're a mental midget.
Yeah. And let's listen to what Jonathan Turley said. This was posted by your president. Check it out.
Well, there's a lot of people worried in the city tonight.
That's called panic in D.C., okay? There's a lot of people worried in this city tonight.
Yeah, because they
reveal that
by the book is why there's panic. Let's make sure we make that clear. The reason that there's panic is because they understand that the people that are currently put in place to do the process that is there to do are going to do it by the book. That means once that grinder has you, it never lets you go.
Well, there's a lot of people worried in the city tonight. This is the great reveal that John Radcliffe was promising, and there's more to come.
Who didn't like Radcliffe? Never mind. Yeah. You guys know.
They know.
The important thing about this, Sean, is that it confirms things that we knew, and it gives us things that we did not know. We always knew, not always, but we knew earlier in July 2016, Brennan briefed Obama to say that Hillary Clinton was planning to create a Russian collusion scandal for Trump to distract from her email scandal. He briefed the president on that, and then months later, he played a critical role in overruling CIA analysts and including the Steele dossier. We also know that the Clinton campaign lied to the media, denied they had funded the Steele dossier, and indeed hid that funding as legal expenses by Mark Elias, the general counsel at that time of the Clinton campaign.
Guy that had a hand in censoring us.
Required this all-on-deck effort, the government, the campaign, the media. That's why when you see the reaction of the media today, it's clear that no matter what is produced, you can show a dozen heads in a duffel bag, and they're still not impressed. And the reason is that for most of the media, this is not coverage. It would be a confession. That is, if they actually cover this story, they are confessing their own role in what may be the greatest political hit job in history.
It is. Absolutely. No question.
It is. 17 pages. Mark Elias equals Perkins Coie equals Arabella Advisors. That's right. Mm-hmm. And, again, it's just, we know that this is a plan by Hillary Clinton. Okay. And we've known this for a long time. And if people, instead of wanted to Q-tards, why didn't you pay attention to it? I want to read you a message that I got from, that I sent to Donnie, Shady.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Donnie. Will there ever be a time where we can sit down to show you how Q has been right this whole time and why I've been attacked and censored? Do you think I'll be able to ever tell my story in a positive way? You should pitch it to CNN. Maybe it would increase viewership to show people how wrong you've been. And remember, the spy op post that you guys showed during my interview on CNN, that's actually all happening now.
We'd like a chance to talk about it.
Yeah. Can we? Or,
Yeah.
or are you so hell-bent on hanging on to this stupid-ass narrative that has been, with facts, been debunked thoroughly, even before, with open source research, it's been debunked.
Yeah, but just like what Turley said, it's a confession. They're making a confession. To talk to us is making a confession. That's the reason that they wouldn't. That's the reason that we were explaining to you why they attacked Q the way that they did. The proper attack would have been to say, "Oh, well, Donald Trump is, this Q thing is acting like that it's with Donald Trump." Think about that. The best way to utilize that against Trump would have been to say, "This Q thing is connected to Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump putting it out. All this stuff is nonsense." Why didn't they do that? Why did they not do that? They did something very different, didn't they? They did the opposite of that. Think about it. Why? Why didn't they perpetuate what we were claiming, that Donald Trump was connected to Q? That's the perfect smear. Oh, wait, because he's the president. Oh, wait, because he has the right to release information. Oh, wait. So because they would be telling everybody that Donald Trump is actually communicating with you through Q.
Yeah. Midnight's Watch, 5 subscriptions. Thank you so much, JoJo Guns. Thank you so much for 1 subscription to the MG Show. I appreciate that. We are living in live Q drops, everyone. Absolutely, JoJo. 110,000 million %. And by the way, I would just like to, in honor of a great Floridian, Hulk Hogan, Florida is lowering the flags at the Capitol and in Pinellas County tomorrow, additionally declaring August 1st, 2025 is Hulk Hogan Day in Florida. Rest in peace, brother.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool.
Wow, thank you. Yeah,
an American icon. I hope that we get back to the day where people that have an effect on our society are somehow commemorated. It's like you think about the last 15 years and
it was nothing.
All the great Americas that we've lost in the last 15 years. Over this nonsense in our media talking about all this stuff that doesn't matter. We should be commemorating and acknowledging the people that helped make America what it is.
Yeah. I'd like to also
we are without him.
Like to also cover CrowdStrike, pesky Q proofs, Shady Groove. CrowdStrike CEO lying directly into the camera, claiming that Russia was responsible for their internal DNC leak. There are 14 posts with CrowdStrike. There are 14 CS posts. Yes, maybe one or two might be Chuck Schumer, but there are 14 CS posts. Okay, let's look at that because that goes to your spy op post, guys. Okay. It goes to the spy op post, CrowdStrike, okay? It's right here. Fusion GPS, we're hearing about that today. CrowdStrike, John McCain. Perkins Coin. This is what was put on CNN, and it's happening right now, Donnie O'Sullivan, okay? We've been right this whole time. When was that post, Shady Group, that first post? 8/9/2018.
Before we did the video on the Pacer, the first one.
Yeah.
And also, spy op is psyop. Just rearrange the letters a little bit.
So let's go ahead and listen to the CrowdStrike CEO lie to you. And this is the letter that says HRC approved Julia's idea about Trump Russian hackers hampering U.S. elections that should distract people from her own missing email, especially if the affair goes to the Olympic level. The point making is Russian play a U.S. domestic issue, say something like critical infrastructure threat for the election. Okay, evidence that is regrettably still unavailable. In absence of direct evidence, CrowdStrike and Threat Connect will supply the media, and GRU will hopefully carry on to give more facts. GRU is the Russian intelligence. Okay, here we go.
These days, however, and importantly, he is the chief security officer at CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is the firm, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, approached by the FBI, by the government, as a vendor, either once this attack was discovered or in a preventative manner. Either way, tell us what you know about this attack.
Yeah, Brian, we actually were called by the DNC through their counsel when they saw that there were some irregularities. They were concerned about potential breach within their environment. We came in, did our typical incident response. We deployed certain pieces of technology that we use to try to get some visibility into the extent, the depth, and breadth of this particular breach. In the course of this, working very closely with the IT staff of the DNC, we were able to identify with a very high degree of confidence, a group that we have attributed back to the Russian government targeting that DNC network. We know with certainty, my time in the Bureau and now at CrowdStrike, that foreign intelligence services are constantly interested in political processes.
Do you even know what you're sitting on? WikiLeaks never sits on material. Whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material and often very significant risks. As a 27-year-old works for the DNC, who was shot in the back, murdered just 2 weeks ago for unknown reasons as he was walking down the street in Washington. So that was just a robbery, I believe, wasn't it? No, there's no finding. So what are you suggesting? What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that our sources take risks, and they become concerned to see things occurring like that. But was he one of your sources then? I mean, we don't comment on who our sources are. But why make the suggestion about a young guy being shot in the streets of Washington? Because we have to understand how high the stakes are in the United States, and that our sources are, our sources face serious risks. That's why they come to us, so we can protect their anonymity. But it's quite something to suggest a murder. That's basically what you're doing. Well, others have suggested that. We are investigating to understand what happened in that situation with Seth Rich. I think it is a concerning situation. There's not a conclusion yet. We wouldn't be willing to state a conclusion, but we are concerned about it. And more importantly, a variety of WikiLeaks sources are concerned when that kind of thing happens.
Wow. Katie?
I think that
CrowdStrike CEO, okay, so was the DNC hacked by Russia? The answer is no.
No.
CIA Brennan Force? You heard the guy, the CrowdStrike guy, he worked at the Bureau, okay? Now he's CrowdStrike CEO. Seth Rich, internal DL, hand-to-hand pass USA, CrowdStrike code insert, okay? And that goes into the CrowdStrike posts right here, the code insert, guys. Fusion GPS, CrowdStrike no name, code insert, okay? CrowdStrike. Going back to that. If FBI chain of command was corrupt, what other investigations were corrupted? Who did they provide cover for? How far back did it go? How far back did it go?
Has engaged in espionage against Americans. They have hacked American websites, American accounts of private people, of institutions. Then they have given that information to WikiLeaks for the purpose of putting it on the internet. This has come from the highest levels of the Russian government, clearly from Putin himself, in an effort, as 17 of our intelligence agencies have confirmed, to influence our election. So I actually think the most important question of this evening, Chris, is finally, will Donald Trump admit and condemn that the Russians are doing this and make it clear that he will not have the help of Putin in this election, that he rejects Russian espionage against Americans, which he actually encouraged in the past. Those are the questions we need answered. We've never had anything like this happen in any of our elections before.
That was a great pivot off the fact that you want open borders, okay? How did we get onto Putin?
Continue to get help from him because he has a very clear favorite in this race. So I think that this is such an unprecedented situation. We've never had a foreign government trying to interfere in our election. We have 17 intelligence agencies, civilian and military, who have all concluded that these espionage attacks, these cyber attacks, come from the highest levels of the Kremlin, and they are designed to influence our election. I find that deeply disturbing,
Secretary
and
Clinton,
I think it's
She
time
has no
you
idea
take a
whether it's
stand,
Russia,
because if
China, or anybody
I
else.
am not quoting
She has
myself.
no idea.
I am quoting
Hillary, you have no idea.
17 do you doubt 17
Our
military
country has
and
no idea.
civilian agencies? Well,
Yeah, I
he'd
doubt
rather
it. I doubt
believe
it.
Vladimir Putin than the military and civilian intelligence professionals.
you condemn any interference by Russia in the American election.
By Russia or anybody else.
You condemn their interference.
Of course I condemn. Of course I can. I don't know Putin. I have
I'm
no
not asking
idea.
you. I'm asking
I
you
never
to
met
condemn.
Putin. This is not my best friend. But if the United States got along with Russia, wouldn't be so bad.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so how far back did it go? Who are they trying to protect? She just told you her made-up story, Shady. That was a made-up story. Hillary Clinton, again, I'm going to play one more clip, Shady. Here's another one. Her made-up story.
You know, the only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So why should Russia have all the fun? And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us?
I hereby tonight ask China.
That's right. And not only that, China, if you're listening, why don't you get Trump's tax returns? I'm sure our media would richly reward you. You know, the only...
Okay, again, and then she set up the tax return psychological operation, Shady. I mean, all they do is lie. Everything that witch said is a frickin' lie, Shady Groove.
And now it's proven.
And now it's 100%, without a doubt, proven.
Correct. The only thing that you can now say is like look at that with new eyes. Look at what she was saying there. X amount of people took her serious. So many people took her seriously whenever she said those things, and they were detrimental. And I'd like to bring you back to what Julian Assange was saying right before we played that, and talking about the exposure and what WikiLeaks is doing. Okay, what WikiLeaks was doing was WikiLeaks was exposing the generals in the theater of war. Whenever you get people out there in the theater of war that are untethered to like the higher ups and have a chain of command and nobody over them, that they act like kings and they do really insane things. And so almost all of the WikiLeaks drops, the cables that were coming out of there, were regarding Afghanistan and Iraq and America's dereliction of duty in those theaters of war, connecting back to the generals that were, the higher ups in those theaters right there. So effectively, people attacking Julian Assange are the people that don't want the stuff uncovered of what's really going on in the theater of war. Hillary Clinton was occupying the Secretary of State's office, guys. Do you understand what she was able to do from that position? We're like this. It is insane how much of Q was about all of the stuff that Hillary Clinton was doing from her position as the Secretary of State. And I could also say, can you maybe see from that clip why that the entity known only as Q picked the letter Q? Were we mocking the 17 intelligence agencies, guys? I mean, come on. Like, let's get on the same page so that we can move forward and actually get some justice. By the book means by the book. And the only way you can have by the book, guys, is if the public calls for justice. And the only way the public is going to call for justice is if you put the information out into the public bloodstream so that they consume it and see, let's see what happens. Maybe we don't call for blood. Maybe we don't call for justice. Let's see once it's all unveiled.
Yeah, but it's too confusing, according to
It's way
Wamba
too
Swampy.
confusing. Yeah, wow. Yeah, so confusing to understand.
Yeah. All right, so this is what we need to do, because this is what the Democrats are doing to our nation. They're refusing to approve some of the best nominees in the history of our country. If we had George Washington and Abraham Lincoln lined up, they would do everything in their power to delay and disapprove. This should never be allowed to happen, and it has never happened before. Shady, look at this.
I see it.
And that includes the judges, guys, okay? You can't have justice without the 135 judges that need to be confirmed, and that's what they're holding out on. Do people not understand this yet?
You don't. So you mean that they're not that Congress isn't approving these judges because they're afraid of the rulings that these judges might make on different things that might come before them in the future because they would be non-biased.
That's right.
Oh wow, that sounds like that's. Oh wait, yeah. Hey, scripts here. Patrick Byrne blank his burger. Patrick Byrne is out there calling us Trumplicans, guys.
Yeah,
You're a Trumplican.
17 Patriots for Truth. Thank you to the MG show. I appreciate all I've learned in the many years from you all. Thank you so much, Patriots for Truth. B. Seddon says 17 experts, 51 intelligent personnel, blah, blah, blah. Same intel experts that said that Flynn was not liked by Obama. Do you not understand? Flynn is like the gum on the shoe, says Chris Christie. You'll never, Trump, since I fired Flynn, Russia's over now, right? No, you'll never get rid of him like gum on the bottom of your shoe was the answer. All right. So, guys, the same people that said that the 51 intelligence, the laptop was not, it said it was Russian disinformation. The same 17 experts that Hillary told you are the same 17 experts that set up all of this Russia collusion. And we've got the Soros Open Society Foundation in the middle of it all, Shady Groove.
Yeah, right in the middle of all of it. And boy, oh boy, like, I just find it so interesting, man, that all of this stuff, like, there's actually starting to be a public pressure campaign against some of these entities, against CrowdStrike, against Future GPS, against Open Society. This is what we needed to happen to have a proper conversation. These organizations and entities shouldn't be immune from criticism, and the media, effectively by being fake news, can engineer them being immune from criticism. That's why we needed an army of people. Kind of really doesn't matter what we're all talking about, even though we're all on different pages. We needed to all be talking about something other than sports and climate and gender.
Right. So Leonard Bernardo, the one that sent this letter right here, okay, in July 25th, 2016, okay? That guy talking about the media analysis on the DNC hacking appears solid. This is an important story, the first time we know of that a state deliberately uses the infiltration and publication of data to interfere in the U.S. election, okay? Who's that guy? Well, he started the war, the color revolution in Ukraine. Guys, he was part of that. That's Open Society Foundations. How democratic transition can unfold in Ukraine. And this is your douche right here, Leonard Bernardo right here.
Worked completely right in hand in glove with the administration and everything that they did in Ukraine, like it was all a ruse to undermine the duly elected. They scream and yell democracy at you. What was going on in Ukraine was a democracy. Like they had a legitimately elected president who was making decisions for Ukraine, as opposed for the globalists who wanted to launder their money through Ukraine. That became a problem. So they had to poison the guy.
Yeah. It's crazy, guys.
It's crazy. Like, if you dig into that whole thing with Poroshenko and all this stuff that happens, like, over there, I'm like, it's insane. Like, like you really think about, the nonsense that goes on here, times that by like 500,000 is sort of what went on there.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And then you've got this right here. This right here is breaking a 2015 WikiLeaks email showing John Podesta arranging a meeting with General Flynn, ex-CIA chief Mike Morrell. Okay. He's now been declassed. Okay. Former CIA guy twice, suggesting a potential early collaboration that contradicts Flynn's later role as a Trump insider for 23 days. A twist supported by FBI records indicating Flynn's Moscow trip in 2015 triggered the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. If you want the historical context, this reveals that Flynn's $45,000 payment for the 2015 Russian television gala in Moscow, where he sat with Vladimir Putin, raising suspicions of foreign influence. While Mike Morrell's 2016 New York Times endorsement of Hillary Clinton and claim of Putin recruiting Trump adds layers to the alleged conspiracy. Documents cited by Paul Sperry link Julian Smith, a Hillary advisor, to Beacon Global Strategies with Morrell, hinting at a coordinated Clinton plan with intelligence circles challenging the narrative of Flynn as a lone whistleblower and suggesting a deeper, unreported network, guys. Wow, huh? It's unraveling, guys. There's the email, hat tip from Spilty T.
Can't keep the toothpaste in the tube.
and this is Paul Sperry, records show Hillary advisor Gillian Smith was also consulting with Beacon Global Strategies, led by ex-CIA Chief Mike Morrell, who around the time Smith gamed the Clinton plan with the IC, intelligence community, endorsed Hillary in the New York Times and claimed Putin recruited Trump as an unwitting agent. Okay? All a setup. And your same intelligence community said that Obama didn't like Flynn. The same intelligence community that told you that the Russia was fake, guys.
I think over the course of a certain amount of time, you start to realize that everything that is connected is relevant. And I think, and part of the situation that we've been experiencing as MG Show and uncovering a number of these things is every time we mention something, we get people claim that what we're saying is irrelevant. None of this is irrelevant. Every single ounce of this connects to the ability for them to stop Donald Trump. All of it is about stopping Donald Trump. I don't care if you're talking about Russia. I don't care if you're talking about Roger Stone. I don't care if you're talking about January the 6th. I don't care if you're talking about impeachment. I don't care if you're talking about any of the stuff that's happened, COVID. Every bit of that was to stop you. Every bit of that was to stop a populist movement from taking root in America called MAGA, not a Christian nationalist movement. The Christian nationalist movement is what is being created by the left in the right-wing circles to sort of control the whole game board, okay? Populism is not nationalism. Nationalism is different. That is something that they have engineered to try to smear you with. They say, oh, he's a white nationalist. No, we are a populist. We believe in America. We believe in the country that our forefathers bled and died for. Every other country that their forefathers bled and died for, they can't honor them because they're not free anymore. Just
3 minutes until premium, guys, but we got breaking news right here. Based on highly provocative statements from the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now deputy chairman of the Security Council of Russian Federation, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important. Right, Poussaint? And can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Shady. Whoa.
Yeah. And we knew that it was going to come to this.
Scare.
They're going
event
to
necessary.
They're going to push it. Yeah, they're going to push it right to the edge, and it will be solved. At the end of the day, this is going to be solved. What you're seeing is driving everyone toward the negotiating table instead of away from it.
Yeah. Right now, United We Stand says Benny interviewed Tulsi, and they actually connect the dots that 3-Star withheld the presidential briefing that showed no Russian collusion.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Thank you for that. All right, so 2 minutes, guys. We're going to go actually 1 minute. Oh, wait, no, 2 minutes. No, 1 minute and 40 seconds, Shady. We're going to be going to Rumble Premium. You're not going to want to miss it, Shady Groove.
Vanderbilt Empire. We are going to be reading today about the Vanderbilt section.
Well, yes, but first we're going to show you that we were talking about the mergers, and then we're going to talk about the merger that happened and the Vanderbilt Empire. You're right.
Okay, I was trying to go into a plug there, but okay. I got you. What are you doing?
Waiting for you to plug it.
I tried. I'm all confused now.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No.
Oh wow.
What to do, Shady?
All right, I'm waiting on you, bud.
All right, I'll wait on you. We're waiting on each other.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Mickey B, live, unscripted, interactive. The future of new media is now on the MG Show. We appreciate it. And Yeti, we're going to be going in 30 seconds. Shady.
30, 29, 28. Today we're going to be talking about the Vanderbilt Empire, and it connects to you, connects to the Q Post, it connects to what we've been talking about here with the bloodline family's control over America and their control of the financial system that is the Federal Reserve. The 3 companies of the Federal Reserve are the railroad companies. That is the reason that what Donald Trump is doing right now is so historic and magnanimous. We will be going to Rumble Premium right here in just a second.
Boom. Shady, well done. Thank you so much. And go.
The MG Show. Not funded by dark money, but funded by listeners like you.